Previously, we have seen how can we model the exponential growth functions, and now we will see that how can we interpret the real life examples into the exponential decay functions. But before doing that, let's practice this question. Recall this concept that which function represents an exponential growth function. We know that in order to represent the exponential growth function, the value of the b should be greater than 1 and x should be in the power. So you can see in the a and the b part, the x is not the power, right? The x is not written as a power, so they are not the exponential function. Now, if you look at the part C, the value of the b is 1 over 3, which means 0.33, and it is not bigger than 1, so this is also not our option. The only option is D because the value of the b is 2, which is greater than 1. So definitely it shows the exponential growth function. So here is the word problem. John plays trumpet in the marching band. He purchased a new trumpet, value 2500. The value of the trumpet decreases at a rate of 15% each year. So the concept is stay the same. Whenever we say the decreases, the formula which we use to represent the exponential decay is y equals to 1 minus r over 100 whole to the power of x. Whereas a is our initial value, which is 2500 in our case. R is always being given in the percent form, that is 15, and it has to be divided by the 100 whole to the power of x. Now, if we see that 1 minus 15 over 100 gives us 0.85 whole to the power of x. What will John's trumpet value after 5 years? Which means that replace x by the 5 and find the final answer by calculating. So if I write this in the calculator, 2500 times 0.8, 2500 times 0.85 whole to the power of 5, the answer is 1109.26 dollars. Now next question. The population of the town is decreasing. Decreasing means minus at a rate of 2%. 2% means R is what? 2 over 100. In 2000, yani in the year 2000, there were 1100 people. It means that the initial value of the person was 1100. Write an exponential decay function. It means you have to use the formula 1 minus r over 100 whole to the power of x. Now what is our A? Our A is the initial value of the people, that is 1100. 1 minus r is 2 over 100 whole to the power of x. If I calculate 1 minus 2 over 100, I will get 0.98 whole to the power of x. Now I have to replace the x by 9. Why 9? Because 2000, the population which we are calculating was the 2000. So which means that it is the 0 year. And in 2009, it means 2009 minus 2000, I will get 9 years. So I have to find out the value of the population that is decreasing in these 9 years. So I will write here y equals to 1100, 0.98 whole to the power of 9. So make sure that you interpret the value correctly. 0.98 whole to the power of 9, which is 907.12, but they are the number of the people, so I will just write 917, sorry. Now, the yearly profits of the company is $25,000, which means my A value is 25,000. The profits have been decreasing by 66%. That means R equals to 6 over 100. Okay, so I am trying to write my equation that it is decreasing. Okay, so and I have to write the exponential decay function. So I will use 1 minus. 6% means 6 over 100 whole to the power of x. Now, if I write here 1 minus 6%, I will get 0.94 whole to the power of x. Now, that's it. That's all. They are not asking me to calculate anything. That's it. Next question, you bought 2000 worth of stocks in 2012. So 2012 is 0 years, number 1. My A value is $2,000 and the stocks has been decreasing by 10% each year, which means R equals to 10 over 100. Write an exponential decay function. So we will write A, that is A is 2000. 1 minus, because we have to write the decay function, 10 over 100 because it's 10% whole to the power of x. And 1 minus 10 over 100, it will gives me 0.90. Next question, your car cost 42,500, which means A equals to 42,500. When you purchased in 2015, so it is the starting point or the 0 year. The value of the car decreases, it means 1 minus by 15%, which means R is 15%, so I have to interpret as 15 over 100 whole to the power of x. Now, if I write in the calculator 1 minus 15 over 100, it will gives me 0.85 whole to the power of x. Next question, a piece of the land was purchased for 65,000. That means the A is 65,000. The value of the land has slowly been decreasing, which means minus. By 1% annually, it means 1 over 100. Write an exponential decay function. So y equals to A, it is 65,000. 1 minus 1 over 100 because 1% and power of x. Now 1 minus 1 over 100, it gives me 0.99 whole to the power of x. Okay, now this is an interesting example. In Baron, the population is 1600, which means that in the start the population is 1600. At an annual rate of 4% each year, it decreases. It means 1 minus 4 over 100 whole to the power of x. Whereas they are saying that in Manchester, the initial population was 3600 and it decreases at a rate of 7% each year, which means 7 over 100 whole to the power of x. First of all, solve. Y equals to 1600. 1 minus 1 minus 4%, it means 0.96 whole to the power of x. And here 3600 is the initial value. 1 minus 7%, which means that 0.93 whole to the power of x. They are asking you which town will have the larger population after 10 years. Okay, so let's check this. Just replace the x by the 10 in both of the functions one by one and check which will gives you the more people. Okay, so let's write one by one. So I'm writing 1600, 0.96 whole to the power of 10. I will get 1063.7. So let's make it approximately 1063. And the other one will be 3600, 0.93 whole to the power of 10. And you will get 1742 people. Now look at this. The greater the b, okay, the greater the b, because it is a decay function, so lesser population will, lesser answer. Smaller the function and the greater the answer, because it's all decaying. A vehicle depreciates at a rate of 22%. Depreciate means negative. 22% means 22 over 100 after it is purchased. What is the base of the exponential function? So base means b, right? So it is, you know that 1 minus 22 over 100. So this is the base, which means if you calculate 1 minus 22 over 100, you will end up with 0.78. So what is the base? Base is 0.78. How did you get it? This is the base. Write it in the calculator and you will get this thing. Write the exponential decay function. So y equals to, there is no initial value is given. So just write 0.78 whole to the power of x. How much the vehicle will worth after 8 years? So just replace 0.78 whole to the power of 8 and check in the calculator. You will get 0.137. Better not to sell it. There is nothing will be left in this car after 10 years. Yes, that Reese says that the function f of x equals to 500 times 0.15 to the power of x models of population that has an initial population is 500. So let's interpret it first of all. So initial value, which means the a, so it is 500. That is absolutely correct in his formula. And decreases means 1 minus at a rate of 15%, which means 15 over 100 whole to the power of x. So this is the model. Does this model and this models are correct? No, our model is correct. The reason is it has to be 15%, which means decreasing. It means the rate factor or the base will be 0.85. So he is not using the correct formula. Okay, Reese is not using the correct formula. A student was asked to find the value of $2,000 items after 5 years. So what is the initial value? It is 2,000. The student was told that the item was depreciating, which means that the subtraction we have to use at a rate of 30%, which means that R equals to 30 over 100. So let's first of all model ourselves, our situation, that the initial value is 2000, depreciating with the value of 30% and then x. So 1 minus 30 over 100, it means it is 0.70 whole to the power of x. And if I replace the x by How many years they are asking? After the 5 years, and let's check that what would be the value of these items after 5 years of depreciation. So 2000 times 0.70 whole to the power of 5, which means 336.14. So this is our answer, and I hope that these questions are clear to you. It is very important that anything is representing the exponential growth or the decay function and the percentage is given, then you have to write down the R value by converting or dividing it in by the 100, number one. Number two, use the correct sign, means the plus for the increase and minus for the decrease or the depreciation, and then calculate the answer. So see you in the next video. Thank you so much.